Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm your host Kyle Wood. Today we'll be learning a bit about the mysterious Moai of Rapa Nui, also known as Easter Island. But before we get into the facts, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell truth from fiction. Consider this. Many believe the so-called Easter Island heads are just giant head statues along the coast of the island. What do you think? Is Rapa Nui surrounded by disembodied head sculptures? We'll find out at the end of this episode. Now for your word of the day. Our word for today is megalith. A megalith is a large stone that has been used to construct a prehistoric structure or monument, either alone or together with other stones. The word comes from ancient Greek mega, meaning large, and lithos, meaning stone. These impressive structures can be found all over the world, from Stonehenge in England to the pyramids in Egypt, and of course the Moai of Rapa Nui. The term megalith is often associated with the Neolithic period or the New Stone Age and the Bronze Age, as these were the periods when many of these large stone structures were created. While the Moai aren't quite as ancient as some of the earliest megaliths, they certainly fit the description of large, carefully crafted stone monuments that stand a testament to the ingenuity and organizational skills of people who created them. Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about the Moai of Rapa Nui. Number 1. The Moai statues almost always face inland, gazing over the island, not out to sea. This orientation suggests that the Moai were not intended as navigational aids or seaward guardians, but rather as spiritual protectors or ancestors watching over their community. Their gaze towards the interior of the island reinforces the idea that they were connected to the well-being and prosperity of the Rapa Nui people and their land. Each statue was believed to embody the spirit of an important ancestor or chief, extending their protective influence over the villages and sacred sites. The placement of these monumental figures, often on ceremonial platforms called ahu, further emphasizes their significance within the Rapa Nui social and religious landscape. These ahu were not just simple bases, but complex structures that often contained burial chambers and other ritual elements, highlighting the integral role of the Moai in the islanders' spiritual practices and ancestral veneration. Number 2. The largest Moai ever created, called Paro, weighed an estimated 82 tons and stood over 32 feet tall. To put that in perspective, 82 tons is roughly the weight of 14 adult African elephants. It's mind-boggling to picture them not only carving such a massive stone from the volcanic rock quarries, but then transporting it to its designated ahu across challenging terrain. This incredible feat of engineering speaks volumes to the sophisticated organizational structure and just the dedication of the Rapa Nui people. Amazingly, Paro is not the largest Moai carved. It was the largest created, but there's an even larger one still in the Rano Raraku quarry known as El Gigante, which would have stood nearly 72 feet tall and weighed around 270 tons if it had been completed and moved. Number 3. The Moai once had eyes made of coral and volcanic rock, giving them a more lifelike and imposing appearance. While many of the Moai today look like featureless stone head carvings, archaeological evidence suggests they originally possessed white coral eyes with pupils made of red scoria, a type of volcanic rock, or black obsidian. These eye sockets would have been carved after the statue was put on its ahu, indicating that the opening of the eyes was a crucial final ritual, perhaps symbolizing the awakening of the ancestor's spirit within the statue. The presence of these eyes would have transformed the Moai from inert stone figures into seemingly sentient beings, radiating a spiritual power over the island. It's theorized that these eyes were inserted only for specific ceremonies or periods, then removed, contributing to the mystique and power attributed to the statues. Unfortunately, we rarely see these delicate eye inserts today because of human activity and natural decay over the centuries. Number 4, the Moai were carved primarily from solidified volcanic ash, known as tuff, found in the Rano Raraku quarry. Rano Raraku is an extinct volcanic crater on Rapa Nui and served as the main quarry for the Moai, often referred to as the Moai factory. The tuff found there was relatively soft and easy to carve with stone tools, but it was durable enough to withstand the elements once the statues were completed and put in place. This unique geological resource was essential to the Moai's existence. Within the Rano Raraku quarry itself, hundreds of unfinished Moai can still be seen in various stages of carving, some still attached to the rock face. These provide invaluable clues about the carving techniques and the meticulous process the Rapa Nui carvers employed, from initial outlining to final shaping. The presence of so many unfinished statues also hints at sudden halts in production, perhaps due to resource depletion, societal changes, or even a shift in belief systems. And our fifth and final fun fact for today, the Rapa Nui people likely used a combination of ropes, wooden sledges, and rocking motions to, quote, walk the Moai upright across the island. For a long time, the method of transporting these massive statues remained a mystery, fueling various theories, including wild ideas about alien intervention. But extensive archaeological research and experimental archaeology have provided strong evidence that the islanders used sophisticated techniques involving ropes and human power. One prevailing theory suggests that the Moai were, quote, walked in an upright position by groups of people pulling on ropes attached to the top and sides of the statue, rocking it forward step by step. Another method likely involved placing the Moai on wooden sledges, which were then dragged over lubricated log rollers. The presence of ancient roads and flattened pathways on the island supports the idea of dedicated transport routes. While the exact combination of methods might have varied depending on the size of the Moai and the terrain, it's clear that the Rapa Nui people possessed an incredible understanding of leverage, physics, and cooperative effort to achieve these monumental tasks. Now for some news you can use. It's amazing to think how the Rapa Nui people moved those colossal Moai without cranes or forklifts. They relied on fundamental engineering principles like leverage, friction reduction, and distributed weight. And you can apply these same ancient ideas to solve everyday problems like moving heavy furniture around your home without breaking your back or your budget. Instead of trying to lift a heavy couch directly, think like the Moai movers and embrace the power of leverage. A lever allows you to amplify your force, turning a small push into a much larger output. Imagine using a sturdy piece of wood as a pry bar. By placing a fulcrum close to the object and pushing down on the longer end of the lever, you can easily lift one side of a heavy item that would otherwise be impossible to budge. This slight lift is often all you need to slide something underneath, like a blanket or a furniture slider, to prepare for the next step. Once you have the item slightly lifted, reduce friction. Friction is the resistance force that opposes motion between two surfaces in contact. The Moai movers likely used lubricated logs or carefully prepared pathways to minimize this force. In your home, you can achieve a similar effort by placing old blankets, towels, or furniture sliders under the legs or base of an item. These materials create a smooth, low-friction surface, making it much easier to push or pull even incredibly heavy objects across carpets or hard floors. By understanding and applying these simple physics principles, you'd be amazed at how much you can achieve. Now for the moment you've been waiting for. At the beginning of the episode, I asked if the Moai of Rapa Nui are just a collection of disembodied head sculptures. Well, that's a fallacy. While many popular images of the Moai often show just their monumental heads protruding from the earth, the vast majority of these statues actually have full bodies that have been buried beneath the ground. Excavations by archaeologists, notably the Easter Island Statue Project, have revealed these impressive torsos, often adorned with carvings that suggest details like hands, belts, and even elaborate tattoo patterns. The reason so many Moai appear to be just heads is largely due to the accumulation of sediment and soil around them over centuries, gradually burying the bodies. These buried portions provide invaluable information about the carving techniques, the original appearance of the statues, and the efforts involved in their placement. So the next time you see a picture of those Moai heads, remember, there's usually a whole lot more to it hidden beneath the surface. I guess that's kind of true of everything. Now, I hope you enjoyed learning about the Moai of Rapa Nui with me today. If you did, be sure to follow or subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening, and tune in every weekday for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.